Hey, welcome to Lessons from the Boot. I'm your host, Ms. Brittany, and every week I dive deep into the personal growth and development that living here in South Italy teaches me, in the hope that you can gain some inspiration from it wherever you may be in the world. Performing monkey syndrome. This is what I have dubbed those experiences where we do things that we don't really want to do in life. We feel uncomfortable, we feel out of alignment with ourselves, yet in some way we feel there is an expectation or obligation to do something, even if the reality is somewhat different. So why do we do this? Why do we put ourselves in situations where we feel like performing monkeys? I think the answer is twofold. Firstly, I think it's because we want to make ourselves look good. We want people to think highly of us and to create a good impression. And secondly, I think it's because we want to please other people. We believe that if we do things in a particular way, even if it's not something that we feel comfortable doing, it's going to make people value us more or make them appreciate us more for who we are. I had a situation recently where I very much felt like a performing monkey. And I think it's very easy to slip into this syndrome without realizing it sometimes, because I am a very strong person. If you listen to one of my earlier podcast episodes, Are You a Doormat? Episode number 3, if I remember well, you will hear me talking about the importance of boundaries and how no is a complete sentence. Yet in this particular situation, I felt that there was an unspoken expectation for me to do something, and I did it, even though it made me feel extremely uncomfortable and was way out of my comfort zone and just something that I didn't feel in alignment with doing. And as such, I felt completely rubbish afterwards, and I got very upset. And I have vowed to myself that I will never repeat that experience again. So why did I do it in the first place? Well, as I've said already, I felt that there was an unspoken expectation to do something. But I think also, if I'm honest, maybe I did it because I thought people would think highly of me for doing something, when really and truly other people's opinions are so fickle and invalid, it doesn't matter what people have to say. I've come to realize that you have to do the things that make you feel good. And you have to say no, and you have to speak up when situations aren't right. It's very easy to lose yourself in situations in life, but you have to speak up when something is not making you feel good. I watched a YouTube video yesterday from Vanessa Lau, who is a really well-known influencer. She had a hugely successful online business. Yet last year she took a sabbatical. And she didn't really give much information at that time, but in this latest video, she's talking about why she did that and why she quit her businesses. And it is essentially because she'd become like a performing monkey. She had created this monster that was so big, she lost her identity and she was just performing all the roles that she had to do to keep everything ticking over. But it was no longer making her happy. She had lost who she was as a person, and she was essentially putting on a performance for the world. The performing monkey syndrome is something I think a lot of people pleasers fall prey to. I would say that I'm a recovering people pleaser. I have moments where I lapse back into that mindset where I want people to think well of me and I want to try to make everyone happy. But I always know that deep down it's not possible to be that person. It's not possible to make everybody that you come into contact with happy. Happiness and satisfaction, they're very much internal emotions. You cannot make another person feel that way. You have to feel that way from within yourself. I think also there is an expectation from society. And I feel like, when you are creating something, when you're starting something, when you're working on something, there is an expectation sometimes that you should be doing things in a particular way. You should be creating a course, or you should be producing X number of videos a week, or you should be attracting X number of subscribers. There's a certain expectation that we feel society places on us as to where we should be in our journey, which often makes us perform like monkeys, whether we realize it or not. We're not thinking about what we're doing. We're doing what we think we should, in inverted commas, be doing to have the success that we perceive we want to have. Yet often it's out of alignment with who we are as a person. Now, I vowed from my recent experience never to be a performing monkey again and never to slip back into that mindset, because I know when I'm doing something that doesn't make me happy, and I become resentful of the people that may expect that from me or may ask me to do something. But essentially, I always have the control. I can always say no. I can walk away. I can refuse to do something. And if that damages my reputation, then how important was that person to me in the first place that they cannot respect that I would say no to a particular situation because it's so far out of my comfort zone that I don't know who I am by doing it. And I think, these can be really, really simple actions. Somebody might ask you to do a task at work that is not in your contract, is not something that you need to be doing. Yet if you do it, you feel like you are a performing monkey. Or it could be something more drastic, like a huge life change that you have to make that you don't feel comfortable making, yet you're doing it just to please other people. I think this crosses all spectrums, all experiences, all ages, all races, all genders. And it's something that I think we have to pay particular attention to, because it's very easy to lose our identity and to lose who we are for the sake of other people. I'm really starting to feel as I get older that it really doesn't matter about other people. I really believe we are a selfish species. Like, we think purely about ourselves. You only have to see all the problems that we have in our world to really understand this at face value. But also, if you dig a bit deeper, the things that we do in life are usually for our own personal gain, whether that be the accolades that we're going to receive because we did something amazing, or whether it be a financial benefit or reward, or whether it be because we think we're going to be ranked higher than another person in terms of like our capability to do something. Like, we are all intrinsically just interested in ourselves and interested in our own gain and in benefiting our lives. And so I think, when somebody expects something of you that you don't really want to do, I actually believe you have to do what is right for you. You have to be as selfish as the person who is asking you to do something. Like, that's it. We are all the same. Of course, if it's something you're happy to do and it's in alignment with who you are, then absolutely go for it. But if it isn't, it takes it way back to that episode, number 3, Are You a Doormat? On my podcast, where I spoke about boundaries and the importance of having them. You've got to have boundaries in life. You've got to learn to say no. And I've got to learn to listen to my own advice. Because if I could reflect and rewind, I would absolutely have said no to the situation that made me a performing monkey last week. And I would have listened more to myself, because I know sometimes people ask you to do things for their own personal gain, whether that be financial gain, whether that be because they have their own objectives and goals to meet and you're just a piece in their puzzle, whatever it may be. Like, you have to do the things that make you feel comfortable and make you feel in alignment with who you are as a person, because essentially you go to sleep at night with yourself, within yourself and with yourself. And the only person that you're always going to be surrounded with is yourself. And so if you do not feel good within yourself because you are trying to perform to the needs of others or to the requirements of others that are so far away from how you really want to feel or the things that you want to do, then you're going to lose the connection with yourself. You're going to become very resentful, very negative, very depressed even. And trust me when I say there's no relationship more important than the one that you have with yourself. So it's time now that I think we are all a bit more honest with ourselves. When we are put in a situation which we know we shouldn't be doing, for one, maybe you're being asked to do something that is outside of your remit, outside of your boundaries, whatever it may be. I think it's really important that in those moments, we are honest with ourselves, We ask ourselves how we feel about a particular situation. And if it's something that we even really want to do, I mean, where did it happen in life that we no longer do the things that we want to do because we feel we have to do things in a particular way? Life is so precious and life is so short. I want to spend my life doing the things that I want to do and that light me up. And whilst I may have to navigate particular situations in a certain way for the time being, it doesn't mean that I have to put myself in situations that do not make me happy and do not make me feel good and ultimately make me perform like a performing monkey. And I say this for me as I say it for you. The next time you're in that situation, ask yourself, would I do this if I had a choice? Is this something I really want to do? And is it in alignment with who I am as a person and how I feel about a particular situation? And if it isn't, then it's time to let that performing monkey sleep and really focus on doing the things that make you feel good, because that ultimately is the most important thing. I will see you in the next episode.